good morning, Ekaro, Ututo, Mabarka de Safia. Bonjour, this is Radio Afinju, and you're tuned into Kiddies Arena with Auntie Pearl on Radio Afinju, the radio station with an impeccable dimension to broadcasting. My name is Pearl Durotoye, and I'm your host for today's show. I'm going to be your host, Seth. Even going forward, I'm your host for this show. All right, in case you're wondering what Pearl means something very special, something valued, highly valued, something precious. And that's because I'm special. And I'm sure you listening to me, you watching me, you are special too. But of course, I'm not alone. I have two delightful young ladies here in the studio with me. By my right, I have...
My name is Sophia Tazan.
Okay, by my right, I have Sophia. And by my left...
Mustafa Foladara Ewaolua.
Mustafa Foladara Ewaolua. Ewa and Sophia will be joining me on the show today. We're bringing you all the fun. It's going to be so entertaining, so educative. You're going to learn so much on Kiddies Arena today. So I know you're wondering, Kiddies Arena is a show just for children, it's just for kids. No. Kiddies Arena is not just for kids. Kids Arena is for everybody. If you're a mommy, you're a daddy, uncles and aunties, grandparents, guardians, Kids Arena is for everybody. So if you're not following us already on social media, on our social media platforms, on Facebook, we are at Radio Afinju. On X, we are Radio Afinju. On YouTube also, you can subscribe to our YouTube channel so you don't miss out on anything that's going on in this station. Follow us at Radio Afinju. You can also tune in with us live on Zeno FM, Radio Afinju also. Let me not forget to note that Kids Arena is also open for sponsorship. So if you have any children-friendly goods and services that you would like us to advertise, please don't hesitate to reach out to the phone numbers displaying on your screen, all right? So quickly, what's Kids Arena all about? What are we going to be doing with you this morning? What are we going to be doing? So we have 4 segments on the show. The first segment is our storytelling segment, and that will be taken by Ewa. Ewa, tell our audience what you'll be doing for us in the storytelling segment.
All right, this storytelling, I will be teaching you all a very moral story and a very interesting one at that. And today's story is titled The Secret of Happiness.
Okay, so Ewa is going to be telling us a story, and it's titled The Secret of Happiness. Do you know what the secret of happiness is? In case you don't know, that's what Ewa is going to teach you this morning. And you're going to learn a moral lesson from the story that Ewa is going to teach us this morning. Okay? And then the second segment, we have our grammar and current affairs segment, and that will be taken by Sophia. Sophia, tell our audience what you'll be teaching us this morning.
Good morning, everyone. The grammar segment is filled with a lot of things. We'll be going under the figures of speech, and there's a particular space I'll be talking about the word of the day that encompasses the meaning, the figure of speech it is, and a lot of things there.
Okay, Ewa is also power packed this Sophia is also power packed this morning. She said she'll be teaching us grammar, figures of speech, and word of the day. So you can tell already that it's going to be so much fun. It's going to be so exciting. We are going to learn so much. We're going to have a blast. We're just going to have a good time. All right, and then the next segment is our healthy living segment, which will be anchored by yours sincerely, that is me. In the healthy living segment, I'm going to be teaching basic etiquette and survival skills, basically healthy living. Just because you're young does not mean there are not things that you can do for yourself, and also survival skills. If you find yourself in certain situations and your parents, your guardians are not available, what can you do to help yourself? What can you do to get out of such situation? That's what I will be teaching you in the healthy living segment. And last but not least, we have the final segment, which is our question and answer segment. If time permits us, we're going to do that. If not, we will just skip. But in the question and answer segment, you call in on the show to answer simple questions we're going to ask you. You also stand a chance to win lovely, wonderful back to school gifts, right? So you can win gifts on this show also, and you can also do shout outs to your friends, to your family, to your loved ones, your classmates in the question and answer segment. Birthday shout outs, any shout out that you want to do, you can also do that in the question and answer segment. So you can already tell that we are fully packed here on Kiddies Arena. So gather all the kids around you right now, gather all of them to tune in at Kids Arena on Radio Afinju. All right, without wasting much of our time, let's quickly get into the first segment that we have on the show. But before we do that, we'll go on a quick music break and we will be right back.
Little creatures that are so small inside. Little birds chirp, chirp among the treetops. Tiny spiders weave their webs. And little worms wiggle, wiggle in the garden.
lójú pópó ǹjẹ́ o mọ ẹ̀tọ́ rẹ lábẹ́ òfin lójú pópó bẹ́rù bá sọnù níbùdókọ̀ ǹjẹ́ o mọ ẹni tó pè òfin wo ló dẹni tó bá kọ̀ láti lo bẹ́líìtì ìdáàbòbò níbo ni súnkẹrẹ fàkẹrẹ dé dúró láàrin ìgboro ẹ̀mọ́ làágùn jìnnà lójú pópó pẹ̀lú àyọ̀ká lẹ́tì máa gbọ́ ìdáhùn sí àwọn ìbéèrè wọ̀nyí lórí rédíò àfínjú ìkànnì ìlànà gbóhùnsáfẹ́fẹ́ àlárọ̀ọ̀tọ̀ ní gbogbo ọjọ́ ajé ọjọ́rú àti ọjọ́ ẹtì láago 10 sí 10:15 orí ètò ìbákan náà lẹ́tì máa láǹfààní láti mọ bí ṣe ń lọ ní ojú pópó àti àwọn ibùdókọ̀ káàkiri ìgboro.
ẹ pàdé èmi ọmọ yín ọ̀rẹ́ yín olólùfẹ́ yín Adérónkẹ́ Lawal Àyọ̀ká ọmọ Àkànmú ìrènìmọ̀gún ni mí ọmọ àyóyọ̀ Èjìwándé ará àlágbẹ̀dẹ ọmọ àwòrìn túnirọ̀.
lójú pópó pẹ̀lú àyọ̀ká ẹ máa gbọ́.
Yes, little creatures are everywhere. All right, you're welcome back to Kids Arena on Radio Afinju. Before we left for the break, I said we had 4 segments in this show. There's the storytelling segment, there's the grammar segment, there's the healthy living segment, and also the question and answer segment. So if you're just joining us, don't go anywhere because it promises to be fun, promises to be exciting, insightful, and educative. All right. So without wasting much of our time, we're going straight into the storytelling segment. Ewa is going to anchor that segment. Ewa, over to you.
Hello, everybody. Today, the story I'm going to be telling all of you is titled The Secret of Happiness. Once upon a time, there were 3 brothers named Samuel, Timothy, and Xander, who lived in a cottage by the woods. They were very honest and hardworking. Every day, they would venture into the forest to fell wood, and later they would sell it in the market, where it would fetch a decent price, and their life continued in this manner. However, the brothers were always sad. Even though they lived a very good life, they were always unhappy. Each one hoped for one thing or the other, and would pine for it. One day, while Samuel, Timothy, and Xander were returning home from the woods, carrying their bundle of logs, they saw an old, haggard woman bent low with a sack on her back. As they were kind and compassionate, the brothers immediately approached the poor woman and offered to carry the sack all the way to her home. She smiled and expressed her gratefulness, while replying that the sack actually contained apples that she had collected in the forest. Samuel, Timothy, and Xander took turns in carrying the sack, and at last, when they reached the woman's home, they were very tired indeed. Now, this old woman was no ordinary woman. She had magical powers, and she was pleased with the brothers' kind and selfless nature, so she asked them whether there was anything she could do to help them as a reward. "We are not happy, and that has become our greatest cause of concern," replied Samuel. The woman asked
what would make them happy, and each brother spoke of a different thing that would make him happy. A splendid mansion with plenty of servants would make me happy. There is nothing more that I would want, said Samuel. A big farm with lots of harvest would make me happy, and then I could be rich without having to worry, said Timothy. A beautiful wife would make me happy. Every day after returning home, her sweet little face will light me up and make me forget my sorrows, said Xander. This is fine, said the old woman. If these things will give you happiness, you deserve them in every respect for helping a poor, helpless person like me. Go home, and each of you shall find exactly what you have wished for. This took the brothers by surprise because they did not know of the woman's magical powers. But they went home anyways. And when they got home, beside their cottage there was a huge mansion with a doorman and servants waiting outside. They greeted Samuel and ushered him in. At some distance, a yellow farmland showed itself. A plowman came and announced that he belonged to Timothy. Timothy gasped. Just at that moment, a beautiful maiden approached Xander and coyly said she was his wife. The brothers were beside themselves with joy, and at this new turn of events, they thanked their lucky stars and adapted to their new lives very quickly. The days passed, and soon a year was over. The situation, however, was very different for the brothers. Now, Samuel had grown tired of owning the mansion. He became lazy and did not supervise his servants into taking proper care of the mansion. Timothy, who had built a decent house next to his farmland, found it burdensome to plow the fields and sow seeds from time to time. Xander too grew used to his beautiful wife and no longer found joy in keeping her company. In short, all of them were unhappy again. One day, the three of them met up and decided to visit the old woman at her home. That woman has magical powers, which turned our dreams into a reality. However, since we are no longer happy, we must go and meet her and ask her the secret of attaining happiness, said Samuel. When they came to the old woman, she was cooking stew in a pot. Greeting her, each of the brothers recounted how he had turned unhappy again. Please, tell us how we can once more become happy, said Timothy. The old woman replied and said, Well, it is all in your own hands. See, when each of your wish was granted, you were happy. However, happiness never lasts without a very important thing, which is content. Earlier, since you were happy but never really content or satisfied, boredom came over you and you became sad again. Only if you learn to be content can you truly enjoy the bliss of happiness. Samuel, Timothy, and Xander quickly realized their mistake and went back home. They saw how lucky they were to have the gifts of which they had once craved. Samuel felt grateful for being the owner of a mansion and began taking good care of it. Timothy began to plow his land diligently so as to have a good harvest in time. Xander too learned to appreciate his pretty wife's chores in the house and her devotion towards him. Remembering that happiness and content went side by side, never again did the brothers take their blessings for granted. And thus, they all lived happily ever after.
That was a very beautiful story from Ewa, the secret of happiness. What is the secret of happiness? Is it in having a big mansion? Is it in having a lot of money? Is it in having a big farmland? As you can tell from the story of Samuel, Timothy, and Xander, you can see that they had all these things, but still they were not happy. And the old woman told them that the secret of happiness is in being content. And what does being content means? It means being satisfied with what you have, whether it is a lot, whether it is little, being happy with what you have, because at the same time, when you are content, you will not be tempted to want to take what belongs to someone else. So the secret of happiness is in being content with what you have. So that's our moral lesson for today. Contentment. Be content with what you have, and you will find true happiness. Okay, so we're going straight into the next segment for the show today, and that is the grammar segment that will be pioneered by Sophia. Sophia, are you ready?
I am very ready.
Okay, Sophia is very ready for you this morning, and she's going to be taking us in the grammar segment. Over to you, Sophia.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Sophia, and this morning we're going to the part of speech inside the grammar. And this morning we're looking at a noun. Yeah, a noun is a very popular part of speech, and I would love to define what a noun is and go for that to give types of noun. So a noun is the name of any person, animal, place, or thing that can be seen or unseen. A noun is the name of any person, animal, place, or thing that can be seen or unseen. So types of noun. Now we have different types of noun. There are up to 7, 8, but I'd love to brief like 5 or 6 to us. Then we have the proper nouns. The first one is the proper nouns. Proper nouns simply means specific name of people, places, plants, etc. This is given the specific name of people. Examples of that, we have John. That's a specific name of a person. Place, a specific name of a place. We have Abuja and so on. Then second type of noun, we have common nouns. This is given a general term for category of things. A general term for category of things. We have the city. When we are talking about Abuja, Osogbo, Oyo, Ibadan, that's a city. That's a common noun. Then we have school. School is a common noun for a place of learning. It's a common name for a place of learning. So it's part of common noun. We have dog as a common name we call a domestic pet that barks, that's dog. Then the third types of noun I would love to say is collective nouns. This is meant to describe groups of people, animals, or things. Like collective, we are describing them together. An example of that is herd of cattle, flock of sheep, school of fishes. So we are describing them together, not like we're saying fish. We are not using a common noun here. We're using a collective noun. We are describing them together. Herd of cattle, flock of sheep. Then I love to say countable nouns. Countable nouns, like the name implies, can be, these are nouns that can be counted individually. You can count them one by one. So examples of that, we have pen, we have cat, we have car, we have pencils, we have a lot of things. So far you can count an object, that's a countable noun. Then we have uncountable nouns. These are nouns that cannot be counted individually. You can't count them. E.g., you cannot count sand. Obviously, you can't count sand. And liquids like water, like soft drink, carbonated drinks, you can't count them. These are under uncountable nouns. Then we have abstract nouns. These are nouns that deal with feelings, emotions, ideas, concepts, etc. It's about what you feel in your body. That's abstract nouns. And examples of that is joy, sadness. You can't see joy, but you can feel it in you. You can't see sadness, but you can feel sadness within one person. You can't see freedom, but you can feel freedom. Then we have love. Love is in the hair. You can see love, but love is always in the hair. We have the very last one I would love to mention is possessive nouns. Possessive nouns. This is this shows ownership and relationship. It shows ownership for a particular thing, a particular object. We have this is John's car. John's car in that situation is a possessive noun because it's showing possession and ownership. This is my book. My book. That is the possessive noun there. It's showing ownership. That is Auntie Paul's car. Auntie Paul's car there is it's showing that Auntie Paul owns the car rather. So that's possessive nouns. And we have other examples of nouns, but then that's where we're going to stop today. We have different types of nouns. And that'll be under the parts of speech for today. And I love to state the word of the day. Word of the day. Our word of the day for today spells ABODE. 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 It simply means the place where somebody lives. Instead of saying welcome to my house, welcome to my place, this is where I live, you can simply say welcome to my humble abode. This is where I live. So it's under the it's a noun. Abode is a noun. It's a common name. It's under common noun because it's a general term for where people live. Abode. And Auntie Pearl, I think that's all for this morning.
Okay, thank you so much, Sophia. So now that we know what a noun is, we also know how to use nouns in sentences. And we also know that we have so many types of noun. We have the common noun, we have the proper noun, we have the collective noun, countable, uncountable, abstract. So many types of nouns that we can use in a sentence. For example, now, my name, Pearl, is a type of noun. It's a proper noun, is it not?
It is.
It is the proper noun. So you see, I've also learned what a proper noun is this morning. So, and that's it for grammar. We also had the word of the day, abode. Abode means where somebody lives. So if you want to tell somebody, oh, I'm in my abode, that means you're in your house, you're in your apartment, you are in the place where you live. So thank you so much, Sophia, for that wonderful lesson. All right, so next up we have the healthy living segment, and I'm sure you'll be learning so much today, but we are not done. We still have the healthy living segment. Like I said, we're going to be teaching you so much about how to care for yourself, basic etiquette and survival skills. But before we get into that, we'll go on a quick short music break, and when we come back, we're going to go straight into the healthy living segment. So don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
On the earth or in the sea, because just coming through the sky, little Einsteins, climb aboard.
lápá ọ̀dọ̀ tèmi ń bí pọ́ǹchì bá mi.
tuntun nẹ́nẹ́. ìròyìn tó lé téńté bí àfínjú níbi tẹ́ ẹ ti máa gbọ́ àwọn kókó inú ìwé ìròyìn ojoojúmọ́ lẹ̀ wa.
pẹ̀lú mi lónìí lórí ètò kókó inú àwọn ìwé ìròyìn ó di ìwé ìròyìn Guardian, Vanguard, Tribune, Daily Trust àti ìwé ìròyìn Punch. lápá ọ̀dọ̀ tèmi ń bí pọ́ǹchì bá mi wóde, Guardian náà bá mi wóde ò bẹ́ẹ̀ ni The Nation òun náà bá mi wóde.
tó ń ti àtúpalẹ̀ pẹ̀pẹ̀pẹ̀ rẹ̀ pẹ̀lú àwọn agbólóhùn bí ọ̀jẹ̀ tí wọ́n máa fi ẹwà èdè Yorùbá ṣàgbékalẹ̀ rẹ̀ níkànnì rédíò àfínjú ni ó ti máa wáyé ojoojúmọ́ ni tuntun náà ni ó máa wáyé láti ọjọ́ ajé títí di ọjọ́ àìkú láago 9 sí 10:15 ṣe bẹ́ẹ̀ ti mọ̀ pé ọ̀tún lọ́jọ́ yọ ọ̀tún lóòrùn ràn tuntun nẹ́nẹ́ tún gbòde ní rédíò àfínjú. tuntun nẹ́nẹ́ àfínjú ròyìn tó lé téńté.
Twinkle, twinkle, little star, how I wonder what you are.
Welcome back from that music break. You're still tuned into Kiddies Arena with Auntie Pearl on Radio Afinjo, the radio station with an impeccable dimension to broadcasting. All right, you're welcome to Kids Arena. Remember, like I said earlier, Kids Arena is not just for kids. Kids Arena is for parents alike. It's for uncles, it's for aunties, it's for grandparents, it's for brothers, it's for sisters, because you never know where the knowledge you gain from the show is going to be needed to be passed on to the child next to you. All right, so we're going straight into the healthy living and basic etiquette segment, and that would be pioneered by me. So today on basic etiquette, I'm going to be teaching you how to relate with other people. That's basic etiquette on how to relate with other people. First of all, learn to say please and thank you. Learn to say please and thank you. In fact, not only when someone does something for you, not only when you need people to do things for you, but learn it's a polite way of relating to people. In fact, you get things done easily when you say please and thank you. Oh, someone is on the road and the person opens the door. Maybe you're trying to get into a room and somebody opens the door for you. Oh, thank you. Whether it's a gate man or a security person, they open the door. Oh, thank you so much. Someone gives you a pen when you don't have one. Oh, thank you. Or when you need something, you want to collect something from, even if it's your parents. When your parents do something for you, oh, thank you, mommy. Thank you, daddy. Don't say, maybe you are my mommy. Maybe you are my daddy. That is your responsibility. Yes, it is your responsibility, but you should also say thank you to show that you are grateful. So learn to say please and thank you. And secondly, learn to listen carefully. Learn to listen carefully. When someone is talking or when you're having a conversation with somebody, learn to listen. Don't interrupt other people when they are talking. It is rude to interrupt people when they are talking to you. Even if it's you're talking to your friends, you're talking to your colleagues, your classmates, learn to listen, because you communicate well. You communicate better when you listen to what the other person is saying and then you speak. You get your own chance to talk. So learn to listen carefully. When your parents are talking to you, don't interrupt them. Don't rudely interject. Learn to listen to them talk, and then you can also share your own grievance or whatever it is that you want to say. You can also say yours. And then thirdly, use a soft voice when communicating to other people. Don't raise your voice at people. Don't shout. It's not good to shout. It's very rude to shout at people. So don't raise your voice. Use a very soft tone. Be polite. Be polite when talking to people. Don't, even if let's say for instance now you have an issue with your friend, maybe you're on the playground and then someone does something to you and you start shouting. No, instead report to an elderly person around, and then in a very soft spoken voice you relay your grievance to that person. Don't raise your voice. It is also rude. It is not nice to raise your voice at other people, be it your classmates, your parents, your uncles or your aunties. Do not raise your voice. Also learn to share and take turns. This comes especially when you are playing with your friends. If you're on the playground, for instance, you're playing football and there's so many, in football you have so many people wanting to kick the ball at the same time. Or maybe you're playing a game of Ludo or whatever games that you're playing. It can even be in the classroom when you're picking books or you're doing anything that you're doing. Learn to take turns. Always give chance for other people to also play. Don't be, even if it is your toy, that you are using to play with your friends, don't say, it is mine alone. It is so much fun when you share with your friends. It's so much fun when you share with people. And even if it is yours, don't say it is mine. No, it is not good. That is selfishness, and selfishness is not good. Learn to share, learn to take turns, allow other people to also get a chance to play. Ask before you touch anything. Ask before you touch anything or even anybody. Always seek consent. Always seek permission. Oh, mommy, can I take extra meat from the pot? Oh, mommy, can I take this cold drink in the fridge? Always learn to ask. Oh, auntie, can I take this pen on the table? Auntie, I want a pencil. I want an eraser. I need a sharpener. Ask before you touch. Always ask, as long as it is not yours. Always learn to ask. It is polite to ask, and you also stand a chance of even getting that thing when you touch it. Because when you touch it and it's not yours, the person comes and starts looking for it, and then they find out you're the one that took it. They are going to be very angry. They are going to be very mad at you. But when you ask politely, oh, please, can I have this? And when they give it to you, tell them thank you. When they need it, they can also politely come and ask you for it. And also learn to clean up after yourself. I'm sure a lot of people are guilty of this, and not even children. Adults also learn to clean up after yourself. If you finish eating, learn to take your place to the kitchen and do some little washing. Washing is not difficult. If you finish eating your food, oh, thank you, mommy, thank you, daddy. Then you take your plate to the kitchen, you drink some water, you wash your plate, and that's all, right? Learn to clean up after yourself. If you go to the bathroom to use the toilet, learn to flush the toilet. Take some water, flush the toilet, keep it clean for the next person. If you wake up in the morning, make your bed. Make your bed. When you sleep, you're turning and everything. Your bed sheet is already scattered and everything. So learn to make your bed. When you wake up in the morning, make your bed, arrange your pillow, clean up after yourself. Be a good ambassador. All right. Okay, so that's what we'll be doing on the basic etiquette for today. I'm sure that you have learned so much, as I have too, and I'm sure Ewa and Sophia have also learned so much in today's segment. Okay, so the next segment, we are supposed to have a question and answer segment, but unfortunately that will not be going on, right? So quickly we'll just do a roundup of everything that we have learned today in the different segments that we have had. First, in the storytelling segment, Ewa, what are your final words for our listeners?
Always be content. Please always remember that happiness, you can't attain true happiness if you are not content. Learn to be satisfied with whatever you have. That's all I have to say to you today.
Okay, and Sophia, what are your final words for our listeners this morning?
My final words is you can start using new words like abode instead of home to describe where you live. So yeah, that's my abode. Thank you.
Okay, she said you should start using new words. Not every time I'm going to my house. Every time I'm going to my house, I'm going to my home. You can start using abode. I'm going to my abode. I want to rest in my abode. Okay, so you can start using that because you've learnt. People will know that you have learnt a new word, and when they say, "Where did you learn to use this?" you say, "Yes, on Kids Arena with Auntie Pearl on Radio Afinju. That's where I learnt to use that." And then my own final word, like I've said, say please and thank you. Listen carefully when someone speaks to you. Use a soft voice. Learn to share and take turns. Ask before you touch anything, and also learn to clean up after yourself. And that is all we will be having for you this morning on Kids Arena. Don't forget, I mentioned earlier, Kids Arena is open for sponsorship. If you have kid-friendly goods and services that you want us to advertise on the show, don't forget to reach out to us on the phone number displayed on your screen. Also, if you're not already following us on social media, we are on Facebook at Radio Afinju, on X as Twitter, Radio Afinju, on YouTube. Subscribe to our YouTube channel at Radio Afinju, and also stream live on Zeno FM at Radio Afinju. And quickly, I'll leave you with this: eat a variety of colorful fruits and vegetables. Drink a lot of water after eating. Please always ensure that you drink a lot of water. Also, get enough sleep. Don't stay up too late playing games. Don't stay up too late doing unnecessary things. Always make sure you get enough sleep, because sleep is important. Sleep is very necessary, especially if you're growing up. It's a good and necessary part of your growing up. It helps with your brain. It helps with your overall body metabolism. So always make sure you drink enough water. Make sure that you sleep. Also, wash your hands. You know, you use your hands to do so many things. You use your hands to open the door. You use it to eat. You still use it to play. Ensure you always wash and clean your hands, because you never can tell. Your hands are easily contact germs. You easily contact germs with your hands, because it is one of the body parts that we use quite often. So stay healthy, have fun, and keep smiling. See you same time by 10 a.m. rather. See you 10 a.m. on Saturday next week. This is Kids Arena on Radio Afinju. Have a wonderful Saturday, everybody. Bye-bye.